Hey YouTube. So one of the features of Squiers is that if you look on the headstock on the back, it says designed and backed by Fender. And so what does that really mean? Squiers are in that bargain level, under $500 price bracket, and in some of my videos I might steer you to Squier and say, hey, it's a real company, don't take a chance on one of these fly-by-night brand new brands, whatever, bad quality control and so forth. Squier is a dependable brand, right? A dependable budget brand. So what does it mean that they are designed and backed by? I mean, the design part's pretty simple, that are using the same talent pool as Fender for coming up with designs. And all of their designs are based on Fender designs. So that's pretty simple. But backed by, that's really the key that I want to talk about for just a minute here, because I've had an experience with this new, I just got this in and just love it. It's a really cool, weird guitar. It's a Paranormal Squier. It is an offset Telecaster SJ limited edition. It's very weird. Go take a look at my review. But I also did a review on some things I immediately updated, and one of the things that I had a problem with was an issue of crackling on the knobs, and I went through all of my troubleshooting checklist stuff, and I was honing in on it, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and so I went ahead and emailed Fender to see what they had to say about it. So this was a great test of the claim that they're backed by Fender. Are they actually going to warranty this? Are they going to give me any direction? Am I going to get a form letter? What level of interaction am I going to get from them? And so I'm happy to report that I got an email back, because I explained to them very briefly. I'm a YouTube channel developer. I've particularly been leaning into Squier and discussing them as a brand, and I recently got this one at Sweetwater, and out of the box it had this weird crackling issue, and I understand hum and noise and normal issues. This was a different issue. What did they have to say about it? And so I got an email back from a real human being there that works with Fender, and not only did he give me directions on what to do, he specifically replied to me by name. You know, I'm not saying it was like a long drawn out communication, but it was a personally developed, where he said he apologized for the crackling, and that, you know, I could either try to return it to Sweetwater and get a new one, which I don't want to do. I've already been, you know, doing a lot of other stuff to it, and I really love this guitar. And I've also developed a workaround, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But you know, he apologized for the crackling, and he said if you don't want to return it, that here's a link to go and find a service center near you. So I was able to look in my state. I found one under an hour's drive away, and I'm planning to contact them to discuss the issue further and see if it is something that I want to bring it in for them to do warranty work on it, or if I'm just going to hang out with my workaround. And the workaround, and I did a little video on this, the workaround, what I figured out was that because these are metal knobs and it has this weird wiring, something in that system, and again, I don't know if this is a design issue. I couldn't imagine it being a design issue, but so my presumption is something in my wiring is slightly amiss, enough that I'm able to discharge and get a crackle if I touch and roll the knob without grounding out onto the guitar otherwise. And I was able to figure out that it's specifically because it's my electrical signal going into it making that happen. So I did a workaround by just putting I made a little kind of grommet, a little sleeve for the shaft with some electrical tape, so now it has some insulation. And with that little bit of insulation, I have at least removed the symptom, and that is the crackling. So now I'm relatively noise free on this guitar. But that doesn't actually solve if there is a wiring issue. So I'm going to follow up with the service center, see what they have to say for themselves. You know, he explained that if they find something in there, that they can work with the Fender specialists and get it all sorted, and all of that will be warranted and so forth. So this demonstrated my, you know, repeated claim that when you're dealing with Squier, you're dealing with a real company. Now, warranty, of course, only applies to new guitars, and he also, you know, had a little disclaimer in there that warranty only extends to the original owner, which is one of the reasons why you see a price drop from new to used, is that you don't get the warranty. That's why you get liquidator companies like Pro Audio Star. They do a lot of liquidation of old stock and so forth, and B stock and that sort of thing, where they're not giving you the warranty. You're not buying it as new, So you don't get that warranty service, you're just getting the guitar, and that's the price cut. That's what you're losing there. This I bought actually as new, which is rather unusual for me. I usually buy used stuff and tinker on it. This was a rare occasion for me to step out and buy a completely new guitar. Partially I've just wanted to try out Sweetwater's above $400 experience, which I was just literally a couple dollars over it. So I was just on the very bottom edge of that, but I still, you get that extra service and so forth. But it being a new guitar actually is under warranty, and so I get to test out the Squier Fender warranty system at this point. So I will make an update as we go forward, but I just thought this was some additional information about Squier in terms of what are you getting when it says Squier is designed and backed by Fender. What does that mean? And it means that you have access to the distribution and service network that Fender uses, all of the techs that are out there that are trained specifically in Fender systems and so forth. You have access to that, which you simply wouldn't have access to by a non-Fender product. When you start stepping further and further outside the brand of the big brands, the further you get to the outside, the less of that you're going to get. It might have a 2-year warranty, but how easy is it going to be to actually follow up with it? This, I got an email within 2 to 3 days. It was a individually crafted email to me. I could tell it obviously probably had form letter elements, but he filled it out and it was to my specific issue, and it was very, very well done. I have to say that the warranty experience gets A+ thus far in the process.